2021 ended in disaster for the two darlings of the LEC, G2 and Fnatic. After what Caps called the worst split of my life, G2 failed to make Worlds, a far cry from their domination of 2019 or their top 4 placement at Worlds the following year. We may laugh alongside the team at their so-called G2 moments, but no one was laughing when G2 placed 4th in the Summer 21 playoffs, missing out on a World slot that usually felt guaranteed. Fnatic, meanwhile, fared little better. Improving from the 2021 Spring to Summer splits, they made it to the main event of Worlds, only to crash out in last place. Change was needed, but it was still perhaps a shock when Whippo decided to take his talent and his memes to America. Why'd Razork? Well, it just doesn't have the same ring to it. Fast forward, however, to 2022. Fnatic pick up Wunder from G2 alongside Humanoid and Razork. However, G2 takes a vastly different approach to Fnatic in rebuilding their team. Perhaps burned by the failure of the 2021 Reckless project, they promote ERL players Flakked and Targamas to become their bot lane duo. 4th place in the regular spring season would later see G2 to be sent into the lower bracket of the spring playoffs by Fnatic, only for G2 to get revenge in the semis and emerge as champions above Rogue in the finals. A worthy continuation of the G2 timeline, but disaster for the Black and Orange, who arguably haven't looked the same since. Today, G2 and Fnatic are set to clash again, but this time far from the top spots they're used to.
For the longest time, Fnatic and G2 have tried to drown their demons, but they've managed to stay afloat. G2 with their early game, constantly putting themselves in uncomfortable spots leading into the mid to late game, and Fnatic with their identity crisis. A team famous for their defiant style in the past now find themselves lost. It's seemingly hard to pinpoint one thing that has caused these issues, but at times it seems both teams were on different pages from their teammates or had many things to play for on the map. However, in yesterday's game, we saw both teams rise up. G2 still had their early game demons, but with a draft very much reminiscent of their rise in spring playoffs, they were able to out-teamfight their opponents, and this improvement is coming in just when they need it. They'll be facing off Fnatic on the opposite end of the spectrum, who also came in with an easy-to-execute composition. Fnatic finally seemed to be on the same page. They didn't leave much room to breathe for their opponents, and they almost had a perfect game against SK yesterday. Both teams are ramping up, and this close to playoffs, there is no room for mistakes for either of them.
So, it all boils down to this. 2 teams that are head-to-head in the standings. A regular season game that typically doesn't have much impact could determine the rest of the year for both of these teams. The history between these teams has been long. You can see it on your screen, but any European fan will be familiar with this rivalry. With a combined total of 22 finals appearances, these 2 teams have always had an impact on the other. Typically though, those battles have been for grander prizes, a spot in the finals, the LEC trophy, an international appearance. However, throughout the history of the LEC, neither organization has ever missed a playoffs appearance. And now, that very constant hangs in the balance. Last year, Fnatic kicked G2 out of Worlds contention. This year, G2 denied Fnatic a shot at the title. Who will gain the edge today? History is often written by the winner. So without further ado, let's find out who will write the next chapter as it's time for Fnatic versus G2.
With G2 winning Spring and having the most amount of championship points, and Fnatic looking on the verge of being eliminated, knocked out from playoffs by G2 in Spring, a loss to G2 could be the death knell in qualifying for playoffs and Worlds.
We could win every game and go 11-7, I believe, right now, which would get us into like the top seedings. There's always new ways of playing the game that maybe we can grasp this and actually take the win this time.
Mad find an opportunity and they completely punish Fnatic.
You can understand how a team is communicating and thinking and playing by how they move on the map, how they add multiple members to plays. When I look at Fnatic, I rarely see the elements of their training and practice coming to light on stage.
If you're like all very strong players and everyone knows what to do within their role, you're going to be playing the game good no matter what. But if some people believe differently, then it can be very hard to progress the game, and this is something we've been struggling with.
The team beat from Wunder on the backside. It will definitely be a bit of a surprise for BDS. The Dragons reset. Aggressivo flashes immediately. Limit and Sigmar are running for the hills. Fnatic will find themselves a win and go 1-1 in this week. Start to bring themselves back into playoff contention.
G2 will almost always mirror their opponents. They will rise to the level of strong teams, and they can sometimes struggle against weaker teams. But for G2, one of the other crowning achievements is an ability and a commitment to developing. Just look at their lower bracket run in spring, just look at their bounce back from their 4-game loss streak in summer. This is a team that has proven they can work on the things they're doing badly.
Weeks ago, I would say our main issues like is sometimes draft, but I think our main issues right now is like early game. We just fall too much behind the early game, and then the game is just like really hard to play.
If they don't really know what's going on and they are kind of losing track of how the game is being played, that could be like some weird face shakes, some weird deaths all over the places, and individual performances of course has to play a big part of that. I think we are all really strong players on Fnatic, and the last time we played them it showed. So it has to be some individual plays coming out from us, and maybe a better draft could help a lot as well.
They used to be quite successful, so maybe them missing out on Worlds is not something that necessarily many people want to see, but you know, if they are not good enough to make playoffs, then they are not good enough to make Worlds.
Trundle now coming up, Pillar to land on the Flakked, zoning him away, instantly gonna find the kill!
If you're a really good team, you get through these things.
The triple for Twitch, and the game for Fnatic!
What I would say is for a team like Fnatic, if they were a team, if there were a time, if there were a moment to show how good you are, it would be against their perennial rivals in G2 Esports.
Welcome to the LEC studio here in Berlin. G2 fans out in force, veritable army here. We saw Fnatic fans.
A lot of flags, a lot of cheers, a lot of G2 masks.
They're going wild, and the players on stage are loving it. That's my favorite part, is you can see how much joy, like Caps is looking so happy.
G2 fans are out in force this weekend.
This is I just don't want to say anything. I just want to appreciate this moment. Hey, I like that. We are G2, we are G2, we are G2. That's catchy. Yeah, G2 fans, give it up for yourself, give it up for the teams. Fnatic fans here too. Just not quite as many at this point. They're giving the G2 fans their time in the sun. It is a little unbalanced, I will say, in favor of the G2 fans. Also partially because they're closer to the microphones, I think, that would pick them up.
There is a Fnatic chant going on.
Hylissang, or not Hylissang, sorry, Humanoid is bopping to the tempo of the Let's Go G2 fans.
Yeah, Humanoid's loving it.
Some players thrive under this pressure, though. Some people love playing against the crowd, being the bad boys, being the bad guys.
And you know this crowd's going to go crazy on every kill for G2. Sure, Fnatic are laser focused here.
We'll have to see if they can beat all the Polish fans at I Am Katowice for H2K in 2017, where I iconically said, oh no, when they lost, because I was so caught up in the emotion of the crowd.
Don't get carried away with it.
If you want to call me a biased caster, that's the caster reference.
We're soon getting into draft.
Yeah, we are moments away. We are not just milking the fans for these reactions, although you guys did fantastic. It is now time, ladies, gentlemen, everybody. Team select Fnatic first G2 match of the week.
Into drafts we go. A lot of question marks around what these teams will be playing on this new patch, of course. Fnatic coming off the win against BDS and SK. G2 coming off a win against XL.
Yep. It feels like for Fnatic, they kind of simplified a lot. You got scaling options and the Kog'Maw and the Azir, some team fight support, some options to protect the carry with the Lulu. We'll see if they go for something similar here against G2 Esports. G2 can be a lot of different things. I like that they were really setting up, especially Flakked to carry yesterday. I thought that was a good look for them. We saw something similar in Spring when they were struggling, where they put a lot more focus in building comps where Flakked was protected rather than more like skirmisher-heavy comps, let's say. So it feels like both these teams seem ready to play around the bottom side of the map as we move more to the mid and late game, but we'll see what the options are. For now, it's very standard bans. Ahri, obviously, the cap special taken off the board.
Yumi's open, could be a first pick. Wukong also quite high priority. Or unbanned. I mean, looking at AD carries here, you've got Zeri, Twitch, Draven, Aphelios, Sivir, everything's open. But
first
Fnatic,
pick Azir. I mean, they did it yesterday. They're doing it again today.
Wow, they're going to go for the first pick Azir. Really confident in this champ. Incredible scaling, good lane pressure as well. Does benefit a little bit from the health pot changes and stuff like this in terms of having more lane dominance. And now, how aggressive are G2 going to be? This 1-2 will tell us if they go for some kind of early roaming, things like Draven, things like these kind of picks. Yasuo we've seen from Flakked. Wukong Sejuani would be a great 1-2 LPL classic. There's the Draven 1-2, so they are going to be really aggressive. Now it's on Fnatic to respond. What will upset pick into Flacked's blind pick Draven? He's got options, Lucian, Nami, he's got Tristana, he could go for an Aphelios lane. Could go for a Zeri lane, which would struggle a lot. Zeri Sivir would struggle a lot in lane phase.
And don't get me wrong, Draven, very powerful meta pick right now, but this definitely feels like full confidence from G2 Esports in their bot lane. Obviously, historically, the lane has gotten some flack on the top side, has been performing, and people feel like they have not been matching, but Flakked, giving him Draven this early in the draft, full confidence from the coach, full confidence from the team to say, hey, we trust you to blind this, we trust you that you're going to be good enough on this that you can carry.
Wukong denied from the Wukong Sejuani combo. Upset's gonna go for Ezreal. He's not gonna get sucked into the aggressive bot. He's not gonna... With Kalista down, it's hard to match an aggressive AD unless you're playing a Lucian lane or a Tristana lane. He's gonna go for the safe option of Ezreal, take it on the chin a bit, get pushed in, and just farm up, which is a lane that Draven cannot punish, but extremely hard for Ezreal to find a kill in.
Yeah, and you have to remember the stakes for Draven. The later we go without him getting a kill, the more powerful the ult will be, the more impactful the cash out will be, and that's the cap Sylas.
G2's comp is going in. It's going forwards. There is volatility everywhere right now. Sejuani less so, but more so in skirmishes.
Yeah.
But G2 need to find a jungler here. They need to find a jungler that works well with Sejuani, and Wukong is the best. Things like Xin Zhao can work, Trundle can work as well, but Jarvan is off the cards with that Ezreal pick and Azir. So Fnatic need to take away those junglers. G2 probably going to look at expected top bans with Sejuani picked already. Going to take away Wunder's Gragas.
And Wunder obviously 3-1 on the champion, usually pretty much ahead in gold pretty consistently across those games. We had graphics prepared for it. We won't get to use them, but you can see why they would want to take it away. Huge playmaking champion for him. Want to see what the fallback is going to be. With Sejuani locked in for the top side, you know, so you get really used to seeing BrokenBlade counterpick just at every single opportunity. Technically could be a Sejuani support, as we have seen Trimby bring that out, but will depend a lot on the matchup that we see bot lane.
So they're taking away the Nautilus. I wonder if G2 are just going to pick Renata on 4 here. Screw the support counter and just take the strongest one. With Nautilus down, that rises in prio. Ezreal is quite hard to draft support around. Ezreal, Leona, great. Ezreal, Nautilus, Natastar, not so great. So I'm looking here for Hylissang. I'm looking at things like Leona. Perhaps they could play some kind of Ezreal Karma lane. It wouldn't do so well into the Draven. Ezreal Braum is great if they blind pick a melee support, but there's 2 top bans onto Wunder. We'll see what he finds for top lane into the Sejuani. Gnar obviously could be a blind or like a pick into Sej, but normally it's countered by Sej. And then with the nerfs, maybe it's a bit tougher if BrokenBlade goes for the Ignite. His Sejuani yesterday was fantastic. So Fnatic's last ban, Trundle still open, Xin Zhao still open. Some good junglers available for Jankos.
Gotta say, Fnatic fan there with a clear sign. Get ganked by Volibear, get smashed by Wonderwear. But it doesn't... He picked Wukong, so they're off script already. Gonna have to see how they adapt. I like that they've taken away the Pike, and I think the Renata on 4...
Maybe it's my Wunder wall somewhere in there.
I don't know. I really love... I like Renata into Draven. I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive. Actually, I don't. I was thinking that it would stop catching the axes. It doesn't. That's not how that works.
Renata here for G2 is good, but if they pick jungle and Fnatic pick Renata... Oh my god, G2 are going forwards. Berlin is losing it.
Do the thing! Heck yeah, what is your profession? See if Jankos can give us that Spartan performance or if he'll be a baker today is the debate now from the side of Fnatic. You can lock in the Rakan. It's a great playmaker, but let me tell you, you get W'd by that Pantheon, it's going to feel quite bad, but they're committing to it. confidence. Ezreal can play safe. He can sit on his lonesome, free up Hylissang to roam to impact the rest of the map. And what will the option be for Wunder in the top lane?
It's a bit tough. Naur is a safe pivot. Could go for something like a Fiora lane as well, might work. Kayle is way too much scaling the obviously Wunder is played. Are they gonna... Is this gonna be Wukong top or Jarvan top? What the hell's going on there? Fnatic have a plan and they're going with it. I'm not sure if it's Jarvan or Wukong top. It could be both. But G2, a lot of aggression already. Sylas, Pantheon, Draven. Is it gonna be an engaged support? Is it gonna be a Renata? Something like, you know, old school blind Jarvan counts big things like Thresh are good, you know, Lantern out the Draven. But I think Renata is the best.
And so, I mean, there's so many champions
such a good
build
pick
AD,
here.
build that, who are going to auto-attack in these fights, disrupt these very all-in attempts from inside of Fnatic. Fnatic, all the tools to just go into just force fights. It's really only Upset and Humanoid who want to play more back.
So it looks like Jarvan top. Wunder's going for it, expecting some kind of Conqueror, Gore Drinker, push in Sejuani, and then of course they have 3 mini champs topside, so that would make the most sense to me. We'll see what Wunder's got planned, but look at these drafts. Fnatic, really good team fight, but not so much winning lanes on bot side. G2, incredibly strong bot, incredibly strong early game jungler. Sylas wants to get stuck in. They want to skirmish absolutely anywhere and everywhere.
Fnatic, please don't hit TY. We will see if your dreams can come true. I mean, this is high stakes, it feels like, in the draft. I love that we're seeing a curveball come out from Fnatic. Jarvan, remember, passive changes a few patches back. Those are really going to be more impactful in the top lane than they would be in the jungle. You're usually only proccing your passive once in a gank anyway, but you can proc it a lot on the top side of the map. 6-second cooldown. Oof. Percentage current health damage.
A lot of tension in the studio. 6th man going to G2 right now. Extremely loud. The army is here. We'll see if he can carry G2 in terms of momentum in their game. As we load up onto the Rift. Fnatic want to scale, look for team fights, weather the storm. G2 just want to go in head first and throw everything at Fnatic in the early stages.
Going to be an absolute fist fight. And again, good setup in 2 lanes, a Pantheon in the jungle. Feels like it should be straightforward, but it's time. Fnatic versus G2 Esports. As we enter the Rift, and for what very well... Hold that thumb. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, that's got some bounce to it. Let's go G2 Fnatic. Let's go G2 Fnatic. Oh man. Well, we're sampling that at some opportunity. Thank you. The G2 fans are not stopping. You can understand why. But remember, it's not just these 2 teams, their history, their pride that is on the line in this game. We're still playing to lock playoffs positions. And TSM is once again united people underneath the banner of esports tradition. But remember, G2 win, it actually locks Mad into playoffs. If Fnatic win, not a single team is locked. And we only got 3 days left to play.
Yeah, and if Fnatic win, they'll be tied with G2. Actually, interesting, Wunder's gone for the airy Jarvan. Now, there was, I believe, cooldown reduction on the E, and you used to play like airy Jarvan support with E poke. I wonder if
you can
that's some
E
kind
the
of
Sejuani passive off, so she never can actually all-in you with the extra armor and MR.
Can indeed. So let's look at what's happening in the game. Wards on opposite buffs. G2 no Razork starting blue. Fnatic no Jankos is starting red. Both junglers expected to be pathing down. And bot lane matchup tells you why. When there's a Draven down there and a Renata, they want to push, they want to have their jungler around, they want to zone Fnatic away as much as possible. Topside fighting will happen around Herald, you expect. And there's the poke from Wunder. It is an E start into just poking him out with Airy, maybe a Scorch or something as well. Has mana flow too. Yeah, he does have the Scorch, and he wants to try and chunk BrokenBlade out as much as possible. Who's running the second wind, which got nerfed, of course. Potions too.
I like this. This is good use of the Jarvan buffs. Obviously just proccing the passive, walking in and out with the basic autos, and using the Scorch buffs as well. It's a little thing, buffing a rune like Scorch, but it adds up over the course of a long lane phase.
Yeah, just finishing up on the runes. You might be wondering why, you know, Azir's running Conquer here. It's really good into melee champs. You know, you see Rise with Conquer into Galio. LeBlanc sometimes runs it as well. Azir running it into the 3 melee beefy champs that G2 are running. And both junglers now going towards the bot side river. Jankos actually finishes up the Wolves and Gromp, skips the blue, and is now around mid where Caps has the push. Jankos going to try to stack up that passive. Wants to invade Razork. Red buff already dead. Razork smartly did red into Raptors rather than Raptors into red. If he did that, then he would have got caught off guard here and would have died. So G2 can't find anything. Could look for the Krugs, but Jankos can't ward over and jump. So G2 early, a little bit of aggression. Don't actually get anything. Not even a single ward in the bot side jungle.
And credit to the Fnatic bottom lane for just backing off there, for not risking anything, for not overstaying, similar to Razork just moving up on the top side. I was ready to see Upset go for something else, super aggressive, something potentially greedy against the Draven, and just bet it all on what would be a very volatile bot lane. But instead he took a back foot, he took the Ezreal. Now he has to play back as well. See how many stacks Flakked can get, something always have to keep our eye on. As Razork is set up on the top side of the map, Wunder ready with a flag and drag potentially. BrokenBlade passive up for now. It does take about a second and a half before it fades away.
His ward just came up as well, so he might want to drop it. I'm not sure if it just came up, but it just came out of the gray zone. Now, BrokenBlade, yeah, there it is. He's going to drop it on the Krugs. Razork, does he get it? No, he doesn't. So it's a bit more difficult to do these Krugs. Can't really play with information. Good read of the map there by BrokenBlade. And the reason they know this is happening is because earlier on when the 3-man went into the bot side, if Razork's not bot side, he's top side, then they're trading crabs. So you have to be careful top. Let the wave come into you. Jankos doesn't want to match. Nothing happens in the early stages. The Draven and Renata need jungle support because they want to keep pushing and trading. Whereas the Ezreal lane, you can just kind of leave on an island a lot. Razork can opt to go top because the 3v3 is losing. And if they don't know where you are, then you can surprise top gank while they're safe in a lane like this. So looks like Fnatic are getting at the bounce. CS leads towards Upset for now while the wave crashes. TP back for BrokenBlade. Wunder has saved his TP. See if that can impact the map later on.
Those little advantages will start to add up, and again, Fnatic avoiding a gank on the bottom side, BrokenBlade avoiding a gank on the top side just feels like a trade of plays.
And the TP advantage can be used in lane swaps, but now Caps is going on to Humanoid.
Humanoid locked up, has to dash into safety. Flash dash out to safety. This is going to be rough. Jankos on the way in, has the flash ready, can flash over the wall, but Razork in the area. Humanoid will just get deleted.
He has to block the chain.
This is so difficult. Has to block the chain. He's also a level down. The rest of the team now on the way. Hylissang coming in. Can they try to turn this one? Fnatic, this is definitely not the fight that they were looking for. Targamas on the way down. Handshake goes wide. Just a single kill over the side of G2.
So much kill pressure in mid. All Caps has to do is dash onto Humanoid, and the problem Humanoid has there was Caps was between Humanoid and the Soldier, so he couldn't dash through it. He had to flash first, and I don't think he had mana to reposition them. He used the Q already. Now Jankos is going to start up the Drake. Humanoid's lost flash. He's going to get traded on again. Caps really aggressive here. Going to force a little bit of mana out of him, and with the Sork Shoe start, that's going to hurt, but the little extra mobility should help him survive. Future ganks Drake over to G2.
Man advantage Humanoid in the mid lane, but the first Drake starting it off with the Draven. Sylas of Pantheon, always a little bit threatening. These new Infernals feel so much more impactful, and it was this ward right here.
But it's pinged from topside, and you question mark pinged it as well. Look at the minimap. So Fnatic know that someone's there, and it's probably Jankos. It has to be Jankos, but then he dies anyway. Here he tries to flash over Caps to get his extra dash from his shoulders. Look at Razork. He's level 3. What the hell is he supposed to do here? Only thing he can do is block. Now we've got a bot dive coming on Flakked to stack the wave. Hylissang really low HP. Flash ulto.
Flash in the auto, the cash in. Upset. They're swapping aggro.
Caps is here too.
More creeps.
Does Wunder TP?
Flakked. They're willing to do it all just to get the kill, but no, Targamas takes it a trade back.
Oh, he's alive. The minions! Upset gets a kill back, but Draven gets one. Renata gets one as well. Wunder didn't TP bot. He could have, but he looked at it and he said 1v3, no chance I can do anything there. I'm just going to TP top and catch the wave. Played over to G2. This is exactly how they want to play the game. Stack waves, get Caps down here, get Jankos down here, force these dives. And no response from Fnatic. Razork just on the back foot this game.
1-3 the kill score. When we take a look back at this one, fortunate for Fnatic they're able to get this kill on Jankos courtesy of the minions, but so hard to play this out.
Here, look at Wunder on the minimap. He's basing. Maybe he could cancel and TP in, but maybe he thought there's nothing to do there. And by the time he's finished his base, he could TP in now to save Upset, but maybe he just knew that Jankos would die, or it's just not worth it in the end. Another 5 Caps looking for Razork.
That's a level 4 Razork. He's such a squishy monkey. Level 4 running for his life. He's down. Hylissang trying to get out to safety as well. Going to donate the kill over to Jankos. Upset stepping forward, but it's a slaughter on the bottom side of the map.
G2 are ruthless. They're just running at them. They find their prey and they strike, and we criticized their early games a little bit over the last few weeks, but when you're playing Pantheon, Sylas, Draven, the only way is forwards. Take any fight you can get. 4 kills so far to G2. BrokenBlade looks like he's actually fighting back a bit in this top matchup. Fnatic want to slow this game the hell down.
Certainly something that's going to be difficult. Have to see what more we can get out of the Jarvan, especially now that he's ticked over to level 6, but Razork's so far behind. It's the Wukong ult that we're waiting for to make these big, impactful plays. So difficult to play the early game out against the Pantheon, something we've seen Internationally, something we've seen in the LPL, how impressive the champion can be early on, but the fact that Caps is getting out of lane so early, the fact that the Draven cashed in so early is a devastating blow to Fnatic's early game plans. Again, we knew that they wanted to hold on, they wanted to survive the early game, but things going so quickly in G2's favor early on is a bad sign of things to come.
Herald spawned. G2 incredibly strong 3v3 topside. I think they can just start this up. As much as this pink will spot Jankos, Razork can't match this. Not even level 6 on the Wukong yet. Wunder maybe can get a ward down here to spot that they're starting this, but their response is nothing really. They can't dive bot. Humanoid's under tower. Wunder can't contest this 1v2. Caps just has to hover. So first Drake to G2. First Herald to G2. So much gold on this Herald on this new patch. Scaling for Fnatic.
And my question to those of you who are in the Discord, we've heard what the audience has to say. Weighted now in the favor of G2 is your opportunity to vote. Who will win? Vote now on Discord. And of course, Fnatic, their back is against the wall. So my question to you, Fnatic fans, is do you believe that Fnatic can weather the storm? Vote now on discord.lec.gg. Hylissang going a bit wide there. Flakked at level 6. No, that is not what you want to do! Money in the bank. My man Flakked is stacking out of control.
No flash. Wunder's here. What the? Wunder's lane ganking this. Flakked no flash. If he can get him in the Cataclysm, he'll die.
EQ Cataclysm. Here comes the Wukong. They want to shut this man down, but there it is. They're going to start hitting each other. They're going berserk. Flakked still standing for now. They are able to shut him down.
G2 pushing in top though, loads of plates going over to BrokenBlade. Jankos hasn't even used the Herald yet. This is a good play by Wunder. He knows that sitting in top lane is not going to win him this game. His 3v3, his 4v4 bot side is all losing. Bad positions, losing game state. Just sacrifice my lane, go bot and get a kill onto this Draven. For God's sakes, he's going to lose 3 plates, maybe even 4. So he's going to lose this side lane, but at least he's keeping Fnatic in it.
Fnatic definitely in it. It feels like a glimmer of hope, something to hold on to, but the Draven's still scary. Shutdown definitely nice to have, but we'll have to see how it progresses as we move further. For now, fans weighted heavily online, at least in the favor of G2. We'll check in again as the game moves forward, but this is a big early game lead. Draven, we've seen it if you play it cleanly, just takes over games completely. And Flakked, well, he's got the gold to take things over. 1.1k individually. No doubt in my mind that he is #1 in this game at this particular moment.
He is indeed. Oh, BrokenBlade's looking for Wunder here. Jankos is around. He can chain CC here with the ult if he wants to. Is he going to toss it? Yes, he is. Jankos is here.
Safety, but it's not enough. It was a good attempt.
Oh, Fnatic.
Kill going down. Lockup now coming out. Flash out to safety. Flakked exhausted. Knockup coming in. Caps off to the backside. They're now on the retreat. Razork going away. Getting some summoner spells out as Targamas is forced to flash.
Razork no ult. Upset and Humanoid both on their respective waves, so it's a 2v3. They can't commit to it. Not enough damage. Can they take away this blue? Jankos showed topside, but he's based and he's back on the bot side of the map. He still has the Herald in his back pocket, and he still has the ultimate, so Fnatic have no real play left. They can't dive bot. Drake's up in 1 second. Can they fight? That is the question. Hylissang just lost his ult. BrokenBlade gonna get a full top tower and he's gonna feel good about it.
Playing to the crowd, playing to the audience. You can see the early lane phase, the early trades, not looking too bad, but Wunder forced to move down to the bottom side to support, to try to bail his bottom lane out after a little bit of disaster there, and it's put him quite far behind. 1.7k individually. Massive for the Sejuani, because even if Jarvan can handle himself, it's going to be so hard for the Ezreal to do anything in this game with BrokenBlade as tanky as he is already.
Yeah, I think Wunder regrets roaming bot now. Lost his whole tower and bot lane, still not winning. That's the biggest problem he's running into. There's the Herald, more gold to Flakked. Will have his mythic in base easily. I don't think they can get the full tower though. Just a few plates onto Flakked.
Charge coming in. Sound of Sue's echo to the audience. And soon, maybe we see a dragon. Attempted.
Yeah.
And so far, we get this, and this is the thing about G2 Fnatic games. You get these nail-biting back and forths, where you get these one-sided massacres. And so far, we are on schedule for a massacre. That said, every time I have believed that in the past, one of these teams has made a miracle comeback, has found that opportunity, that singular moment to turn things around. As we check the gold again, courtesy of Santander, you can see that things are very much weighted in the favor of G2. 5k gold lead at 12 minutes is absolutely massive across all of their lanes. Really only Caps in about an even position with Humanoid.
I think G2 can look to start up this dragon soon. They force Humanoid out. Caps is back in lane. Can get this next mid wave in, start up this dragon. Happy days. The only thing they've lost is bot push, but I don't think they'll worry too much about that because BrokenBlade is hovering around the bot side of the map. No Unleashed teleport just yet, so Fnatic 4v5 if they want to engage this because they know BrokenBlade's missing from top. So they're going to have to give this one up. We'll see what soul it's going to be. Hex tech would be wonderful for G2. Mountain as well. But that bot tower with 1 plate left will fall soon as well. G2 just need to carry on and keep up this mid to bot. We'll see if BrokenBlade TP's back top here to catch the wave. or if he stays to force this bot dive. He has two options. Base and TP top, or try to force a bot dive and get this tower. He's thinking about it.
Taking the time. G2 debating what the options they have. It looks like probably just TP back to top lane. Trying to make sure that Wunder doesn't get any gold back. Debating if they can hard try to snowball the bot side of the map, but don't want to take the risk. Again, Ezreal and Rakan hyper-mobile, especially now that they've made it past those first few levels. Upset with the flash as well. As it is Exhaust Ignite on Hylissang. I did not mention that earlier. It is Exhaust Ignite on Hylissang.
Full lane. I remember, I think he did that against Gen.G World 2020
Super
with,
Saiyan Hylissang.
With Reckless, where they were just murdering every bot lane. Massive throwback there. Looks like BrokenBlade won't TP back top. He's just going to save it. Unleash teleports up soon anyway, and he lost the wave because he cancelled his base. So now G2 still have their eyes on that bot tier 1. What do Fnatic have their eyes on is the question. No neutrals. They could try to defend this bot play with Wunder being around, but then BrokenBlade will TP in. Can't really get onto Caps because he has a lot of vision to work with now that Targamas has come out of base. And he's quite mobile as well, with Jankos hovering around the bot side. But Wunder maybe calling for a bot play here. Trying to just engage before BrokenBlade can respond. Jankos might fade check into them.
Going forward, Jankos about to get cut down on that E-phase way. He's such a squishy boy. The Gore Drinker buys him a bit of time, but not enough. Good pick from Fnatic. Good heads-up play. TP down to the bottom side by BrokenBlade, trying to make sure Fnatic cannot push for anything else.
They didn't see BrokenBlade yet, though. They just question mark ping the top side jungle. They're not sure if he's TP'd in. Hilly's going to check, and they see him. Can they get out, though? No flash.
Trying to leap out to safety, dash away. The ulti's still going to connect as he steps backwards. Hylissang now dashing back again with the Battle Dance. Both stacks used. They're all out of mobility, but that tower is so low.
The tower will die, but this is actually pretty good for Fnatic. They get the shutdown, but they also get BrokenBlade's TP, which means Wunder can catch this top wave safely. And he will be able to get back even in levels with BrokenBlade, push out the wave, make him have to respond, and we'll see if they can use this TP advantage. Looks like Humanoid's building towards the crown. Try to survive up. Need to get these mythics complete here for Fnatic. With the Herald spawning again soon. Extremely tanky. A lot of local gold. I think G2 will contest. Flakked has a Gale Force on Draven.
Yep. So usually you see Gale Force or Eclipse. Kabe went a bit off the rails yesterday and went for the Kraken Slayer. Eclipse is the one that we're very used to, but when people do opt for one of the crit items, usually it is this one. Sometimes you see the other options. Trust me, I was shocked by the Kraken Slayer yesterday, and I had to double check. So,
yeah, just looking here, it's always Shield Bow or Eclipse. I'm looking at all the builds from all the pro players around the world, from Deft to Patrick, all around the world. It just looks like Gale Force is the only one being built by Flakked.
Every game, Flakked like
Flakked loves his Gale Force Draven, but doesn't seem anyone else is really doing it. So Herald picked up, get the buff, guys. And I think they're going to try to put that mid. Caps is now top, 4 people around mid. BrokenBlade doesn't have TP up yet, but he needs to start farming up.
Yeah, while you and me are in a fist fight about itemization over here on our little monitor. G2 taking another Herald, obviously massive for the team. See if they can just continue pushing. I'm just so scared of this Draven. He is already so far ahead of the curve. Good news is, Upset's playing Ezreal. Ezreal, one of the champions who just gets to cheat so much mid lane priority by just ulting every wave. He can Q poke from longer range, and while he's a little bit behind, definitely has a lot of passive, just mid lane control by being the champion that he is.
Yeah, the only thing that's bad about G2's comp is it's very reliant on being ahead, and it's very reliant on diving onto carries. You know, Sylas, Pantheon, Sejuani, if they screw up their dive or the enemy team has items that can match theirs, then they're just going to get melted in a brawl by Azir. Pushed back, Wukong knocks them all up, Ezreal and Azir chop them down. But the fact that they're ahead means that they can force so hard that Fnatic don't really have the items to fight back yet, because first they need to build damage, then they can go towards, you know, Frozen Hearts, Zhonya's defensive items, whatever the hell they want. But for now, it's all G2. Any fight that kicks off, G2 should just be able to put their heads against the wall, just run at Fnatic, and they will fall. So Fnatic just want to slow this game down. Cloud Soul is great because they can afford to give that up. It's just when Baron spawns, I think the game will get really tricky for Fnatic. No real objectives left for G2 to take unless they want to herald this mid tower.
Yeah. And sadly for Fnatic, they're not feeling safe at all. I mean, the speculation around whether or not they're going to make playoffs, we can take a look at what's coming up for them. Really need to find a win here. Astralis, after today, can't even really put them in the easy opponent category. Don't know what to expect from them anymore, and certainly Misfits stepping up in Vitality, while today was a bit lackluster. Another strong contender to be reckoned with. It is not an easy road for Fnatic whatsoever, and it feels like hope starts to dwindle if they lose here. Still a chance, of course, not eliminated, but something to keep your eye on.
Everyone can beat everyone, really, can't they? You have no clue who's going to take the game. 30 seconds on this next dragon. It looks like Fnatic have some kind of setup to contest it. If G2 are walking into them, but they have vision first, and they can try to poke them out. Ezreal, Azir can poke them a little bit. Wunder and Razork have really good peel in terms of knock-up. It's just about G2 calling the same target, getting the Sejuani ult, getting Caps on top of them. He can take a Wukong ult or a Rakan ult to help the team fight. But G2 have now found their way into River. Caps is going to TP in. They really want to force this. Fnatic actually look like they want to fight back.
5k deficit. Maybe feel like they're strong enough to make this happen. A lot can come down to the AoE CC that this team composition is packing, but you really have to keep your eyes on Flakked. And Caps especially, level 12. They're looking like a big threat.
Can they kill this Herald?
I think that they might be able to. Caps going over the wall, looking for a fight, fishing for something. Hylissang locked up. That's disastrous. They're just going to kill him before the fight even starts. That's big. That's the main form of engage. Now the Renata ult to back things up. Charmed, but taken down. G2 absolutely slaughtering. They can't even stop the Herald now. They spent so much time in the middle of the skirmish. The Herald's connected. Here comes Jankos. Spartan level performance here. The stun, the lockup, now push back into the tower. BrokenBlade going to be in trouble. Fnatic trying to find a kill back, trying to find these shutdowns, trying to find a little bit of gold. Razork now on a killing spree as G2 break down the mid lane tower, but it is still all G2 as they turn their sights towards the Cloud Drake.
Yeah, Fnatic think they're strong enough to take the fight, but it's G2 who initiates straight away. Caps goes over the wall with the chain, and BrokenBlade lands the ult onto Hylissang. He has a little bit of tenacity, but the pullback stops him from getting away. And with that main engage down, Wunder's the only follow-up, and he has to engage to peel for his carries. TP coming in. Fnatic aren't done here. Can Razork get it? Yes, he can!
He's just waiting in the back of the pit. Flakked's all out of mana. Keep it out the Flakked. They're trying to finish him off, and now it's Jankos.
No flash. No flash.
He has no opportunity. Fnatic trying to fight their way out of the deficit. Knocked up Caps. The Emperor's Divide. Not enough. He will not get another kill. A redemption moment for Fnatic as they hold on to hope. Flakked and Targamas running.
Flakked, no flash. Upset's feeling it. TP coming in from BrokenBlade. They want to dive. There's no way.
For an opportunity to turn the game in their favor. BrokenBlade TPing. Stopping that hope for now. But a massive, massive play for the side of Fnatic.
They'll take anything at this point. 2 kills over to Fnatic. And it all starts off with Caps using the chain over the wall and BrokenBlade following up. Initially lands onto Wunder, but because he EQs away, the next target in that line is Hylissang. Connects onto him. He can't dash away because of the pullback, the handshake from the Renata. Caps just runs through everyone with the Rakan ult. Now Wunder thinks he has to engage here because he's going to get Renata ulted anyway. And then G2 maybe overchasing a bit here. Jankos very lucky to not get hit by the shuffle by Humanoid. Manages to flash it just last second. Turns into a 2-for-1, but Fnatic, with the health bars of G2, are not done. They know they have a lot of time left to work with because the Dragon is so tanky. They can TP back in. Razork confident enough to steal it. Another 2 kills to Fnatic.
Yeah, the steal here big. Even without it, you feel like this was still a good play, but credit to the side of Fnatic. They didn't burn any major cooldowns in that last fight because they didn't really have the opportunity to fight. So Hylissang coming in out of nowhere here after getting picked off in the earlier fight. Now the difference maker to make sure that Caps gets locked down, knocked up, charmed. Easy follow-up there, and it takes the TP from BrokenBlade to stop Fnatic from diving any further. Upset, looking like a man possessed, blood in his eyes. Got disrespected in that laning phase, struggled early on, looking for the redemption as Targamas is caught up. Handshake now comes out. Hylissang, the rest of the team on the retreat. Razork forced to ulti just to get out to safety. G2 do not want to slow down the pace of this game anymore. They know what Fnatic need to do to win, and it is stall.
Every single kill over to Fnatic stings to G2 because the amount of scaling that they have, the range that they have, the peel that they have, any resources they get, G2 just kind of want to strangle them, make sure they can't really leave their base. They can force objectives, turn on them the second they try to walk up, but Fnatic have room to breathe. They have space to work with. They can actually get vision around this Baron. They have vision in the lane to spot out Caps, who will sweep it. Smart sweeper there by Caps. Sneaky wards by Hilly. We'll see if G2 can sweep that out when Targamas comes from base. And I think, yes, BrokenBlade will still win the side lane. But Fnatic are able to hold on. They've stopped the Soul for another 7-8 minutes. And G2 will look to force again around the next neutral objective.
And it's wild to think about how many times we've watched this exact matchup unfold in similarly dramatic fashion. 80 games these teams have played against each other. G2 the clear favorites in recent years. For a time it was Fnatic coming through. G2 fans happy with that one. But a lot of pressure, a lot of prestige on the line. Even if you haven't been there for those years, for those rosters, that pressure goes on to you because you see the audience here. You know how big it is cheering for you for a game like this. And it does amount up. It does add up as we push further. And remember that it's not just these two teams and their rivalry. It's also G2 winning locks Mad Lions. Fnatic winning keeps everything open. Not a single team locked with 3 days left to play. 15 games left and not a single team is locked. It's crazy.
Massive brawl. All our teams so close in skill level. A lot of throws, a lot of comebacks, a lot of hero plays from every single team. A lot of individuals too, but now it's Fnatic and G2 who are under the lights. Wave pushed in mid. Fnatic want to take out this tier 1. It looks like they have a bit of time to do so. Can they dive here? It looks like Jankos is going in. Caps is TPing. BrokenBlade's flanking Fnatic.
Ready to bet it all. Jankos locked up. He's going to fade away and they're going to kill him. But no, he's still standing for now. They need to find a kill. They need to get that reset, but it will not happen. Wunder splitting up the team fight. It's BrokenBlade and Caps on one side. Flakked and Targamas the other. Flakked and Targamas. They're in no man's land. They're not a part of this fight. Humanoid now running, but Caps still takes down Upset. The Zanyas, he buys time. Flakked. Another cash out. Despite promising size, G2 still too strong, too good at the execution. potion. They will tear through Fnatic.
Fnatic thought they had a little bit of time there to get the mid-tier one, but G2 collapsed so quickly. Caps TP's in, BrokenBlade moves up, and it looked good for a couple seconds because Upset escaped and Hilly was peeling so well, but Caps slams them down, and now they're going to get a Baron.
Incredible play. Fnatic credit to them trying to force something, but it is G2 dominating these plays, dominating these exchanges, low health bars, but it does not matter. 3 members dead on the side of Fnatic. It is their Baron, and we take a look back. The start so good for Fnatic despite Jankos' engaged.
A little bit of overconfidence here. Jankos great ult. Look at Caps, look at BrokenBlade on the minimap. They know the flank is coming in, but Jankos maybe slightly too early ends up dying, but that doesn't matter because Upset gets hit by the ults from BrokenBlade, gets hit by the Renata ult. Hilly peels for him, yes, but they manage to take him down in the end with the Q from Caps on the Sylas, pushes the front line back, and that allows Humanoid to be the next target by the bot lane of G2. And once both the carries are down, Fnatic have absolutely no damage left, and they have to run. G2, you can see Flacked's really close to 3 items now. Dragon spawning in 10 seconds. Does Fnatic just fight that one? Their ultimates are coming up soon, but they could also try to look for this top tier one. Humanoid would have to TP in. I think they can just afford to keep this one up for now and just hold on.
Holding on is the name of the game. It's been the name of the game, but it's only getting harder as we get later and later. For now, the Baron power played relatively tame. Humanoid will try to get the tower back, and it looks like should successfully get a tower back. G2's composition not the best at sieging unless they're willing to full-on dive. Don't have the luxury of a super long-range AD carry or a rapid-fire cannon. But in the meantime, Jankos is going to take down the Cloud. G2's 3rd Drake of the game. More movement speed. Definitely something they're happy to have to get onto the back line of Fnatic, but certainly might have preferred something a bit more tangible.
I'm surprised Fnatic don't have objective bounties yet. Maybe after this Dragon they will. They get that top tier one. Humanoid's going to farm the Krugs. And yeah, the Baron won't net them too much. The next one will be the one that blows the game wide open. They're just waiting for Flakked Infinity Edge. A lot of spikes.
Oh, and I mean, there's so much tension here. I mean, G2 clearly in control. G2 fans feeling good, feeling happy. Fnatic fans, I feel like sweating bullets right now. Knowing that a single mistake, a single wrong engage is probably the game. Especially with the Baron buff backing this team up. Still, 5 minutes till the next Drake, till the potential soul for G2. BrokenBlade. Be pretty confident to make these plays, but obviously can't afford to stick around for too long once the passive fades away.
Tanky boy Jankos is going in.
The lockup hits the clone though. Razork still running out to safety.
TP coming in from Wunder. Fnatic want to get out this top wave. They want to defend this tier 2. This is a mistake.
EQ's out to safety. Can go off back in to try to knock him up under the tower. Hylissang off to the side, just going for the single support. Uses the ultimate as well. They need to walk away. Shirelia's now zooming them forward. Targamas getting the setup with Caps, pushing 2 back into the team. Hylissang running out to safety, but he's got no flash. Another kill for Flakked. The setups left and right.
They have a top wave as well to work with here. G2, 30 seconds left on the Baron. Razork has ult. Here comes the hostile takeover. Razork trying to fight back. Upset.
Back out to safety. Auto-attacking his teammate only once as Razork retreats again. That clone buying us so much time, so much space. For now, it is just a tier 2 tower. Caps and no man.
Oh, Jankos!
Keeping it forward. Wunder now trying to turn, but they just don't have any damage. They don't have any follow-up. Only a single kill there. Caps is taken down, traded for Humanoid. Wunder stepping forward. Absolute mad lad. The Gordringer for a brief moment. They're just trying to stall out the Baron. They're falling behind further and further in gold. It's a 3.5k Baron power play, but they will not give up their base.
G2 just dominating this game right now. Every skirmish going in their favor. Razork looking for Jankos here. Needs to be careful. Look, G2 is still here.
Another clone, but how many times will it take him away? How many times will it buy him safety? For now, still standing.
He's returned. Upset
off to the side.
They don't want to let G2 get away. They know if they can base here with this 10k gold lead, it's so hard for Fnatic to come back. They want to chase him, get an extra couple kills, maybe tempt G2 and looking for a 4v3. But G2 will be very tame and back away. They will not get sucked into a disadvantageous fight. Razork will get the mid-tier 1 objective bounty, but he's not getting away with his life. His flash is up now. Maybe he can flash over after the W.
Might be safe here. Cloud Rift, extra movement speed, leaps away.
Yeah.
Well played.
He's out. So the game will slow down a little bit now. G2 have lost the Baron buff. No Baron for 2 minutes, no Dragon for 2 minutes 30. But what is Fnatic's next option? There's no real spikes. Void Staff and Cyril, that's the only things they can look for on their carries to hopefully get through this front line of G2 that's so tanky.
I mean,
but look at Flakked.
Flacked's 3 items, an extra serrated Dirk, and a stopwatch. That man is not going to die in the next fight. And certainly if he does, Caps might be the one left standing because Zhonya's is going to be up for the next fight as well. This is going to be incredibly difficult if Fnatic want to fight their way out of this one. And scrappy exchange here as Jankos tries to force the play. And clutch into Razork. Good use of the clone so far. Kept him standing.
Kept him standing indeed. Jankos ulted in thinking that would connect, but it's Fnatic who turn here. Very odd. Wunder TP's in. It's very split from Fnatic because Wunder TP's in and runs. Look at Hylissang on the right-hand side of your screen. He W's in with the ult but misses Targamas. So you've got two fights on opposite ends that Fnatic can't find an angle for. And then G2 realize that they're missing all of these crucial spells, and Caps just says, let's just go, boys, and sends it straight onto Hilly. No flash, knocks him into his team, and with the numbers advantage, they can press forwards. G2 were playing with fire a little bit, going way too deep. Caps and Targamas, looks like Razork was trying to zone them away, and Upset and Humanoid reposition after this hostile takeover to dish out damage, where it looks like it gets to a point where Fnatic are slightly favored because of how deep they go, but it's Jankos that says no to everything, keeps Caps alive, kills Humanoid, and then Wunder just kind of EQs back in onto Flakked a little bit later on here. I think Upset's probably calling for a kill onto him here, but he just has to flash away. Wunder dies, but maybe they can punish that flash later on.
Something to track. Missing summoner spells cooldown. This is really just Fnatic grasping at anything, any small advantage they can find. Because again, when you look at the gold, you look at the items, 3.5k individual lead from Flakked. This Draven is absolutely massive. Something that has to be feared. But no flash might be enough. Burst him down, chain CC him, and that gold lead is not going to matter at all. That said, the stopwatch there means it is not easy. If you do not perfectly layer your CC, if you do not catch this man off guard, you will not kill him. 4
stopwatchers in G2 right now. I think Targamas has the anathemas on Humanoid. Only real AP damage coming out of Fnatic. G2 gonna set up through mid. Baron up in 10. I think they have a game state where they could just start it in turn, but with Dragon up in 30, that should be another free objective to get them their soul. Pretty powerful Cloud Soul on champs like the Pantheon and the Sejuani for gap close. TP's coming in from Humanoid, level 15 on the Azir, close to level 16, has the Void Staff. No Cyril does on Upset though, he can't TP back, he's running the cleanse. G2 posturing through bot, Caps is going to get this pink ward and look for a flank. Fnatic have to be very aware of it. BrokenBlade doesn't get hit by the knock-up, 10 seconds on the Dragon, it will be very, very tanky, so it'll take a while to kill. Blue Orb to spot out Caps on the side, will disappear back into the darkness. They have to mark Caps as long as possible, otherwise Upset will get collapsed on incredibly quickly.
Cloud Drake up. Bounty on its head. Razork stole one. Can he steal another one? Pressure continues to rise. They see Caps on the side, but what are they going to do about it? Level 13 Razork, is he enough to stop him, to dissuade the flank? They're turning. They're focusing on the split single member, trying to zone Caps away.
There goes Wunder.
Wunder now going in. Isolating, zoning, getting a little bit of damage down with the Ezreal. Off to the side, but Fnatic, they're just getting rallied. They're just getting pushed back. I don't know if they have the damage. Hostile takeover. A lot of
my God.
Missing. Caps now going in. It's going to be big. Humanoid still standing. Carry still standing, but Caps determined to take him down.
Is he going to die?
Can't take him down. No, he goes golden at the last possible second. Caps still standing. Here comes Jankos. Oh, the Spartan performance they were waiting for. It's a massive fight for G2. It's scrappy, but they ultimately find it. They take the advantage. Upset still standing. It would take a miracle for him to contest this. It should be soul over to G2. It might just be the game.
BrokenBlade's going to TP back in here. Upset only has about 5 seconds of time. Razork, can he find the smite? He has a pink ward in the pit. G2 are aware that he's alive. They're trying to find him.
Get W over the wall. They're just trying to zone him out. They will force him back. That's the Cloud Soul for G2, a 10k lead.
Upset needs to slow them down here. 20 seconds on his solo laners. G2 want to run straight to Baron, so Upset wants to poke them out as much as possible, but he's really low on mana. Caps has TP in 15. This could be a Baron as well as the Soul. Upset versus 4. No mana left, no cleanse to step up. BrokenBlade has the ult up in 3. BrokenBlade could just toss the ult at Upset here and he will die, so Upset needs to be really careful here.
Playing confident. Again, you're praying for a steal, you're praying for a miracle. A TP into the mid lane, a TP on the backside. Fnatic coming in as well. Upset now leaping backwards. The stun is there. Razork now trying to come in. They're trying to look for the interrupt.
He's going to try to finish it alone. He has no smite.
Upset now taken down. Razork trying to finish it. He's betting on anything, but it's all just falling apart. G2 are just winning the game. Fnatic throwing play after desperate play, but they just fall further and further behind.
Everyone was turning on to Upset, but Razork flashed over the wall to the Baron, and it had 2k HP. He smited it, but then he just ran away, so that's it. There's nothing left. He has another smite, but I think BrokenBlade can zone it. No, he's going to go for it. He's going to get it.
In. No! This time, Jankos will find the objective, the Cloud Soul. They're so damn fast. So hard for them to run away.
They have to clear the wave.
Rest of them putting up the tower just to try to dash back. But Caps, he manages to land it. That's the follow-up. The double pushback. 2 walls, 2 Emperors of Shurima. But who is the last one standing? It is Caps, and it is G2 Esports as they tear through Fnatic, and they look to close the game.
They should be able to end it right here, Drakos. 1 second left on Upset. It's the bot lane of Fnatic, the labeled best bot lane in the West, against 5 members of G2 with the G2 army right behind them with the chance. The Starfall's coming in. He's going to zone away Upset here, Jankos. They want more blood.
Locking him up, trying to pull him back to the boundary, but it will not happen. Flakked as godlike. And my God, what's a king to a god? Fnatic falling down in the final moments. There's nothing left for them. It's all ego, it's all fun now for G2
Caps
Esports.
is gonna die.
I know they've won the game.
He gets out.
G2 taking down Fnatic in a storied rivalry, locking in Mad to the playoffs. A beautiful performance.
Smiles across all the G2's faces, all their players extremely happy with that one. The fans are happy. And Fnatic, they put up a fight, but G2's comp was just so relentless. Constantly engaging onto you, the Draven, the Sylas, so many volatile skirmishes where one of them, Fnatic, won around the Dragon. It looked like they could claw their way back, but they overextended through mid, got collapsed on G2, were quick to pounce. And then they got a Baron off of that, and since then they look like they're in the driver's seat.
And credit ultimately to Flakked. G2 Esports as a whole, they played very well as a team, but the confidence to early pick that Draven, to force upset back onto something more defensive, something more safe. Massive for the team.
Here it comes.
And it's a lot more powerful, and there's about another 50 to 100 people backing you up as you do it. It's G2's day today, looking good, and it's important to get closer and closer to playoffs for Fnatic. Losses grow heavier and heavier. The stakes continue to get higher and higher as we get later into the season. 3 games left ahead for Fnatic. G2, they're sitting pretty. They're gonna have to take a game off Mad Lions, Misfits, or SK. But I think that they're feeling all right after a game like this today.
Definitely are. A lot of questions around their early game, but their draft was good for a strong early game. Pantheon, Draven, clear win condition through bot. Good execution. And Flakked was just untouchable, wasn't he? 3k gold lead, 3 items with the Gale Force. So much damage. Big step up from all their players.
Shout out to the G2 fans here today. Your guys' energy is incredible. G2's day, but you guys are a part of that army. It's your day too. Key player of the game at LEC on Twitter. The place to go vote. If you are not here to cheer in the stadium, you can vote if you're in the stadium too. No worries. Caps, Flakked, Targamas.
Caps was almost like the main engager of G2 half the time.
I think that, credit to Caps, I think that the burden laid upon Flakked is obviously very big, and it makes me very excited for him as player of the game, but Caps is, I think, to me, the guy who really stood out to me in this game.
Yeah, loves the cheeky little Sylas.
I mean, the amount of times that he just got out with a blinking health bar.
How many montage reels are there of Caps at international events on Sylas against teams like Genji, EG on side lanes? It's one of his favorites.
Yeah, Xiaohu. I mean, he's still killed a lot of great mid laners. Found a lot of those good angles.
Yeah, Flakked dishing the damage. Targamas just had to be there to be the support.
I mean, it's true. And they really tried to kill him in a lot of those fights. Hylissang, thirsty to kill that Renata. And I respect hostile takeover is a very, very disruptive ability. Difficult position that Fnatic were drafted into, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I really like the G2 draft. I mean, when the 1-2 Draven comes out, it kind of spells what their plan is. Good
and they made it work anyway. Despite telegraphing it, they made it work anyway, which is what makes it so impressive, I think.
And yeah, Wunder sacking his lane to help bot. It just all kind of fell apart there for Fnatic.
Well, luckily, you don't have to hear from us about the bot lane. You can hear from Laure and Targamas all about what happened in the bot lane.
Thank you, Drakos. And Targamas, thank you so much for joining me after taking down Fnatic. Once again here, let's talk about what Flakked told me yesterday. He was confident, of course, in the fact that you could take them down. But when you think about Fnatic lately, what made you confident that you would have the upper hand today?
I think we just had a really good week of practice. Like after last week, after the loss against Vitality, I believe, we kind of knew that there was something wrong with our understanding of like early game and the meta as well. So with the new patch coming in, we kind of had like meetings like every week, I guess. But this time we really tried hard to find new solutions. And yeah, for example, today I think we're really confident that if we had Draven against Fnatic, we would just win because I think they don't really like playing as Draven. So.
Well, the early game, I want to say, is where it went well for G2. But I want you to look at this monitor in front of you because this is at the beginning of the game that things could have gotten complicated. Everything was going so well for you. And then this fight happens. You have it, but then you chase a teeny bit too far. Can you talk me through the communication and what you made wrong during that play?
I mean, I think we just get a really good fight. Like basically, enemy team is kind of out, and then we always want to get more right because I believe we got like 1 kill or 2. I don't remember. I think 1. So we always wanted to take more. I think Jankos said, "Yeah, I'm gonna force Wukong flash," but then they went a bit too far, and then I think it's still fine that Sejuani died, but then like they TP'd on us. They stole the Drake, so it was a bit like disaster, but even after that, we knew that like we had way better comp in team fights, so we were really confident that we would win this game.
A bit of a disaster, but still fine. I like the way you phrase it. You were mentioning the drafts and how to learn how to play around the next patch. Something that we noticed about G2 is the fact that you play more for the bot lane lately when it comes to jungle attention, but also picks when you see Draven and champions like this. Can you explain this shift and how easy it was to make this in motion for G2?
I think it's a lot about the meta. Like right now, people are just playing tank stop every game. And then we follow a lot as well the LPL, and they really like to play like Draven, Kalista, those kind of matchups. So it's something we've been practicing a lot this week, specifically. And yeah, it's been working really well on scrims. I think we lost like maybe one game during the whole week, so in scrims, and against the top teams as well. So we're like really confident that with this playstyle we'll do really well on stage. You
feel like you're caught up on the meta lately and that it fits your style?
Yeah, I think we had our moments during the split where we didn't really know what we wanted to do. Like we were changing picks every week. We are coming in with like new strategies and new ideas, but they were not really that good. But I think this week, like we were just really confident. I think it's the first time that we, maybe since week 1, that we go into a week, and even if we had like hard games against Excel and Fnatic, we just knew that like we had such a good understanding of the meta.
I remember spring, where G2 picked by the end of the season, and especially in playoffs. Do you feel confident to have this kind of scenario this time around?
Yeah, I think for us the hardest part is to qualify to playoff. I think after that it's just we are gonna get it rolling. I think if we make it, I mean now it's like 99%, but I think. Yeah. After that, once we make it to playoff, we can fully be unleashed.
Yeah, but the standings is such a disaster right now. Everything could still happen next week. And when I talked to Vedius earlier today, he told me that the level in Europe right now is fairly low. Would you agree on that?
I mean, I don't really agree. I think it doesn't really matter in the end. Like, people always talk about, yeah, every team is beating everyone, but I think people have to remember that it's best of one. And like, the more tense the situation is, like with the standings being really close, the more pressured everyone's going to be, so everyone's going to do more mistakes. So I think it's just fairly normal that everyone is winning against everyone, and I think we just have to see in best of 5. Like maybe one team will just dominate everyone.
We're in for a banger Super Week next week, that's for sure. Targamas, thank you so much for the interview. Congrats on taking down Fnatic today. And we're going to take one last break before going back for PGL with Dylan Falco, Frankie, and Vedius. Stay tuned, guys.